elaborate a little more about your approach when it comes to LinkedIn ads? It could be for enterprise, it could be for mid-market.
Sure. So the way I see it is, right, LinkedIn, in some cases, it does tend to bring you stuff. So if you're looking at, say, your overall success from all your platforms, LinkedIn might give you, say, 4 to 5%, give or take, in terms of, opportunities and closed revenue. But the way it is that, LinkedIn is there to enable people. It's there to influence and assist your performing campaign. Initially, when I had started, I used to also try this bottom of the funnel approach, like you said, right, because of cost and so on. But it was something that we had to learn and unlearn again to ensure that, we know what we're doing. And then it's also dependent on how the market is changing. Because if you look at it right now in a lot of SaaS companies as well, everybody is using it as a brand building platform, as a community building platform, right? They are running ads, of course, sure. But a lot of SaaS companies don't just want to do revenue, right? They want to run webinars, they want to do events. And this is where something like LinkedIn comes in, right? Because say if you promote an event on LinkedIn, and if the right TAM and the right audience comes there, and then your event marketing team or your sales team, whoever's present at that event, ends up closing it, you then have to pinpoint it back to LinkedIn, because unless you don't have a multi-touch attribution in place, you're never really going to see that success, because it's you're kind of blinded by that. So I think the way I would look at it is it all depends on the size of the company, right? Now, usually when a company is starting out, say it's a seed company or a series A, LinkedIn might not be the first choice, because like you said, right, if the goal is to bring in as much, you first need to prove success of the channel being paid marketing and then expanding upon it. But if say Google search, right now, Google search, for example, you are limited by your volumes. If you get 1,000 search volumes for your brand or whatever keywords you're going after, whether it's your competition or even the industry-based keywords, you are limited by that, right? No matter how much you spend, that's your cap. Unless the market or the industry goes to such a change where volumes spike overnight. But that's really not something that you can always bank on, right? So the way I would see it is that if you have capped out on a certain channel, you need to open up other channels to understand what is going to help you with it. Now, LinkedIn can do all. It's the most important thing in LinkedIn is, right, any channel for that matters, what is your full funnel strategy, right? Because bottom of the funnel is not a full funnel strategy, wherever you look at it. In the case of LinkedIn, you want to start, and this is something that even I have also experienced. You start with something as simple as maybe a video. You talk about the company, you talk about what it does. Don't be too salesy in it. Just maybe talk to the person that would likely buy your product based on the problems they face, or based on basic what your product can do. It's more of an explainer, I would say. Then you need to nurture that audience and move them down. Using third-party audiences never really does work, especially in LinkedIn, from what I've seen, is because unless your product has the exact match for what they offer in their audiences, you're never going to find that, right? Because, and this is something that even I've seen. So say, for example, I classify my customer in this industry, but LinkedIn may be not classifying them in that industry. They probably classify them somewhere else. You have a mismatch. You're not never going to see that success over there. So it's a mix of relying on LinkedIn's audiences, but I would say more on your own audiences, because that's where you are going to hit gold in terms of going after the right personas, right? The objective is not to reach out to the entire pool. Even if it's a brand awareness, you want to go to the entire pool that falls within your TAM. So for example, if say you have an overall TAM of say 10,000 companies, right? You don't want to be going out and touching any one of those, because first you need to lock those 10,000 people and move them down the funnel through drips. Whether it is on the dashboard, whether it's through your email marketing strategy, whether it's through your SDR reach out, it all depends on what stage they're being interacted. Because one key thing that, and even other teams, or even whether it's management or sales, they want to know if I'm reaching out to these accounts, what's being marketed on them. Nobody knows that. But on LinkedIn, you can influence those people and say, okay, this company, for example, company X, I've reached out to them with this ad. They've seen so much of my videos. They've seen so many impressions. So it builds that confidence in the sales team that, if they've seen so much, they've spent so much time, we should be going after them as well. Because what happens is usually people will fill out a demo form, then they're going to forget. They're going to be like, I don't remember filling out this form. And this is something that you see it across every paid marketing platform. Why? It's not because they don't remember filling it in general. It's because there's so much online that it's impossible to have an attention span where you can recollect as many